Hey, y'all.
Well, we're pleased to welcome now a member of the Mississippi Senate. Senator Angela Turner Ford represents District 16. That includes Clay, Lowndes, Noxubee, and Oktibbeha counties. Senator, good to see you today.
Good to see you as well. Thank you for the invitation.
Thanks for coming on. So we've had an awful lot go down in the world of politics in the last couple of weeks with the President, Joe Biden, announcing to the nation last Sunday that he was withdrawing from the 2024 presidential election. And by all accounts at this point, I think we have to presume that Vice President Kamala Harris will be at the top of the ticket for the Democrats. What are your thoughts about all this?
When I initially heard the decision from Sunday, I was a bit stunned. I think there have been some talks leading up to Sunday that there would possibly be a withdrawal from the race by President Biden, and then it was announced, and it's just been a flurry since. I was able to join the call of 40,000 African American women on Sunday evening, and I think that there's a lot of movement. I believe it's exciting, and I'm just looking forward to November when this election will be decided.
Do you think we might see the vice president in the state of Mississippi?
I would hope so. I think there's a possibility. Now, of course, I'm not a part of the GO team as it relates to where she travels, and I have not heard any news about her tour schedule, but I would love to see her come to the state of Mississippi.
The Democrat Party, based on press releases in the state of Mississippi, seems to be fully united behind the vice president. I think it was Congressman Benny Thompson who made the motion, if I'm not mistaken, that the party ultimately adopted to fully support the vice president in her bid to be the next president. Are you feeling excitement and positive vibes from within the party in the state to coalesce behind her at the top of the ticket there?
I believe so. I think the chairman of the State Democratic Executive Committee has also announced that the party is coalescing around Vice President Harris in hopes of her becoming the Democratic nominee. And I believe that there have been reports that she has received support throughout the country from other members who will be attending the national convention, such that she will receive the bid. I do believe that most Democrats here in the state are supportive of her, and they're still showing their strong support for the Democratic Party as well.
What about potential vice presidential picks? Where do you stand there? Do you have a favorite there, Senator?
I really don't. I've heard about a number of names, and I'm just one of those. I would like to see Democratic principles advanced. I would love to see Vice President Harris occupying the office of president. And I know that she has some strong decisions ahead of her in terms of who she's going to select as her vice president or the candidate. I'm just going to support her fully, and I don't intend to do anything different.
Are you fully aligned with her policy positions? Let's take, for example, something that she supported and co-authored with Bernie Sanders, the Green New Deal, which would include creation of a Medicare for All program, essentially elimination of private health insurance. Is that something that you too favor?
I do believe some of her policies I support. I don't know if there's any one particular candidate that I would support any and every decision that has been made. But I do think the Green Deal would be good. I do think that Medicare coverage should be available to anyone who needs it. Certainly, we don't want to be in a position where people are taking advantage of programs, but to the extent that those resources can help people, I would say, be in a position of health and wellness, I believe that's what we need to do as a country.
She's also called for the banning of fracking and offshore drilling in terms of her energy policies. Also, with respect to climate change, wants to dramatically reduce the consumption of meat. She's on the record on those issues. Do you support that as well?
Not wholeheartedly. I think possibly what one eats should be a matter of their personal preference, as I feel about other issues. And I don't see the need to ban meat, but I'm not exactly sure what is behind the position. So that's something I would like to look
Okay.
at more closely before I say one way or the other that I disagree.
Okay. What about her strong pro-union stance? She was, as you know, was a keynote speaker at one of the big teachers' unions events, their conferences, I believe, yesterday. And they, of course, vowed to wholeheartedly support her. You know, Mississippi's not a highly unionized state, as you well know. We are a right-to-work state. She has pledged support for the PRO Act, which would essentially eliminate the option of right to work at the state level and federalize the opposite of that. Do you have any feelings about that? I know we don't have a lot of unions here, and so maybe you don't have a lot of experience with that.
I don't, but I do. There have been efforts to organize various workplaces for a union presence, and I know that it has been met with opposition. Workers need a voice as well. And if you have a group of people who have similar interests, why not allow them the opportunity to gather, present policy positions to those employers so that some of those issues can be addressed collectively. So I can see the validity of unions and would definitely support efforts to allow employees to be a part of a union if that's what they choose to do.
Okay. What about in the state here? We're in between sessions, of course, but you guys will be back down there. It's hard to believe in just a few short months. What are perhaps your legislative priorities for the 2025 session?
It seems like we just left, and as you mentioned, we are quickly approaching the beginning of the next session. I would love to see Medicaid actually make it across the finish line. I think our teachers are always in need of additional resources and support. Even workers here in the state of Mississippi, I'm sure that there are many issues that we believe that can help them. Time and time again, there are certain issues that come up before us as a legislature, restoring the right to vote for those who have been convicted of certain felonies. I believe that we should have a more uniform process on that issue. Things that we've advanced in the past. I would also like to take a look at the medical cannabis program and perhaps if there is any way to allow for some sort of recreational use, not that I would partake of marijuana, but I believe that that's something as a state that we should consider. And if not move the needle this session, continue to do so the session after that.
What are your feelings about school choice?
I believe that parents should be able to educate their children as they choose. I think the issue with school choice is a matter of funding. I do also believe that our public schools should have the resources that they need to continue to educate children, regardless of where they live, the type of condition they may suffer from, provided that school can provide those services. I believe that they should have the funds and the resources to do so. So if there's going to be a promotion of school choice, I don't want us to hamstring the public schools to prevent them from providing the services that they have for many, many years. It's a matter of funding, and I would not want our public schools to be in a position where they cannot continue to function.
The ballot initiative process and the attempts to restore that have fallen short. I'm sure it's going to come up again. What's your position on that?
The people need an opportunity to address government. I know that we are, at the ballot box, we choose our representatives, our senators, other state leaders, other district leaders, but to the extent legislators as well as other people who are empowered to make decisions, if there is an issue that affects the community at large and support can be corralled to present that issue to the legislature or to appear on the ballot box, I believe that they should have that opportunity. Um, no one group thinks alike. We're not monolithic, and the state consists of people of various educational backgrounds. They live in different places. They need the opportunity to express their will, to express their choice, and the ballot initiative provides that
Gotcha.
opportunity.
We appreciate you coming on, Senator. Good talking to you. I'm sure we'll be talking to you some more, hopefully before the session and during. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you. Take care.
We're coming right back, folks, in the Element Wealth Studio.